Imagine this. A woman sits across from her husband at dinner, scrolling through her phone, smiling at a message, but it's not from him. She feels more understood by someone else, someone who listens, who makes her feel alive again. This isn't about sex. It's about something deeper, an emotional affair. Why do women, even in seemingly stable marriages, risk it all for an emotional connection outside their relationship? Is it selfishness, loneliness, or something more complex? Today, we're diving into the 6 shocking reasons why married women engage in emotional affairs and what it reveals about modern relationships. 1. Emotional neglect in marriage, the invisible void. One of the most common reasons married women seek emotional affairs is emotional neglect in their marriage. Over time, relationships can fall into routines where conversations become transactional, about bills, kids, or chores, rather than deep, meaningful exchanges. A woman may feel like she's living with a roommate rather than a romantic partner. The slow drift apart. Many marriages start with intense emotional intimacy, but as years pass, couples stop prioritizing each other's emotional needs. The husband might be preoccupied with work, hobbies, or stress, while the wife feels unheard and invisible. She may try to communicate her loneliness, but if her partner dismisses or ignores her feelings, she starts withdrawing. The dangerous replacement. When emotional needs go unmet at home, a woman becomes vulnerable to someone else filling that void. A coworker, an old friend, or even an online confidant. Unlike physical affairs, emotional affairs often begin innocently as casual conversations that gradually deepen. The other person listens, remembers small details, and makes her feel valued, something she desperately craves. Why doesn't she just leave? Some women stay in emotionally barren marriages due to financial dependence, children, or societal pressure. Instead of divorcing, they seek emotional fulfillment elsewhere, convincing themselves that since it's not physical, it's not betrayal. But the truth is, emotional affairs can be just as damaging, sometimes even more, because they involve the heart, not just the body. The wake-up call. If a marriage lacks emotional intimacy, it's only a matter of time before one partner seeks it outside. The solution isn't policing her interactions, but rebuilding the emotional connection, prioritizing deep conversations, active listening, and consistent emotional presence before it's too late. 2. Seeking validation and appreciation, the craving that fuels emotional affairs. She wasn't looking for love. She was looking to be seen. And that's why emotional affairs start with just one compliment. Imagine a woman who cooks dinner every night, manages the household, supports her husband's dreams, but never hears a simple "thank you" or "you're amazing." Now picture someone at her gym, office, or even in her DMs who notices her wit, her style, or her intelligence. That tiny spark of recognition, it can ignite an emotional wildfire. The invisible labor of women. Many married women pour their energy into their families, careers, and homes, only to feel like background characters in their own lives. Society conditions women to be caregivers, yet rarely are they given the same emotional support in return. When a husband takes his wife's efforts for granted, she starts to question, does anyone even care about me? The other person's role, the mirror that reflects her worth. Enter the emotional affair partner. Unlike her spouse, this person notices her. They remember her favorite book, praise her ideas, and make her feel interesting again. It's not about seduction, it's about reaffirmation. A study from the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy found that 68% of women in emotional affairs cited feeling appreciated as the primary driver, compared to just 20% who sought physical intimacy. Why can't she just ask for attention? Some women do, but repeated requests for validation can feel humiliating. If she says, "I need you to compliment me more," and her husband responds with forced or robotic praise, it feels even worse. Authentic appreciation can't be demanded. It must be freely given. When it's absent, the temptation to find it elsewhere grows. The dangerous illusion. The emotional affair partner's attention feels intoxicating because it's new, but it's often superficial. They don't see her on bad days, her financial stresses, or her flaws. Meanwhile, her husband's lack of praise doesn't mean he doesn't love her. He may just assume she knows. But love isn't just felt. It needs to be expressed. How to fix this before it breaks a marriage? Husbands, notice the small things. You handled that tough situation so well. The kids are lucky to have you. Wives, communicate needs without shame. Try. When you acknowledge my efforts, it makes me feel loved. Both. Schedule regular appreciation exchanges. No phones. Just verbalizing what you admire in each other. The hard truth? Emotional affairs don't start with a decision to cheat. They start with a hunger to be valued. And that's a hunger no marriage can afford to ignore. 3. Escaping routine and boredom. When comfortable misery leads to emotional affairs, marriage didn't kill the spark, routine did. And that's why emotional affairs feel like a breath of fresh air to a woman suffocating in predictability. Picture this. A woman's marriage has become a never-ending loop of school runs, bills, and silent dinners. Then, someone new enters her life. A colleague who makes her laugh. An old flame who reignites forgotten dreams. Or even a stranger online who sparks thrilling conversations. Suddenly, she feels alive again. This isn't just about attention. It's about escaping the emotional flatline of a stagnant marriage. The slow death of novelty. Early in relationships, dopamine and excitement flow freely. But as years pass, marriages often settle into functional partnerships, more about logistics than passion. A University of California study found that 92% of couples experience a significant drop in novelty after 7 years, leading to emotional disconnection. For women, who are often socialized to crave emotional richness, this monotony can feel like a slow erosion of self. Why boredom is more dangerous than anger. Fights at least mean engagement. But boredom? It's silent. A woman might think, is this all marriage is supposed to be? I love my husband, but I feel nothing. I miss being seen as a woman, not just a mom or a wife. When emotional needs go unmet, the brain seeks stimulation elsewhere. Enter the emotional affair, a secret world where conversations are flirtatious, ideas are exchanged, and she feels like her old self again, not just someone's spouse. The fantasy versus reality trap. The danger? Emotional affairs thrive on contrast. At home, she's folding laundry with the other person. She's discussing philosophy or sharing inside jokes. But this is a distorted comparison. Her husband deals with her daily stresses. The affair partner only sees her highlight reel. Marriage is a marathon. The affair is a sugar rush. Yet, in the moment, the escapism is irresistible. How to reignite a marriage before someone else does. Break the routine. Surprise her. A random date night, a handwritten note, or even a spontaneous road trip. Ask new questions. What's a dream you've never told me? If we weren't married, where would you be right now? Prioritize playfulness, inside jokes, silly challenges, or trying something new together, dancing, hiking, cooking classes. Flirt like you're dating again. Create emotional peaks. Neuroscientists found that relationships survive on emotional spikes, moments of joy, deep conversation, or shared vulnerability. Schedule them. The truth no one admits. Boredom isn't a marriage killer, complacency is. Women don't leave for someone better. They leave for someone who makes them feel something when their marriage feels like nothing. The fix? Don't let your marriage become background noise. 4. Unresolved personal issues when past wounds drive present affairs. She wasn't just cheating on her husband. She was running from herself. And that's why no amount of love can fix a wound she refuses to face. Think about this. A woman has a seemingly perfect marriage, a loyal husband, a nice home, healthy kids. Yet, she's drawn into an emotional affair with someone who gets her in a way her spouse never could. The truth? This isn't about her marriage. It's about the unresolved pain she's carried for years. The hidden link between trauma and emotional affairs. Psychology reveals that unhealed wounds don't disappear. They resurface in relationships. A woman who experienced childhood neglect may crave excessive validation elsewhere. Past abandonment might subconsciously test her husband's loyalty. Low self-worth could seek proof she's desirable through emotional affairs. These patterns aren't excuses. They're unconscious survival mechanisms. The emotional affair isn't the problem. It's the symptom. Why her husband can't fix her. Many men respond to emotional affairs with confusion. I gave her everything. Why wasn't I enough? But this isn't about him. It's about her relationship with herself. If she never processed past betrayal, even a faithful husband will feel unsafe. If she believes she's unlovable, no amount of reassurance will stick. The affair partner acts as a temporary salve, offering the illusion of healing until the cycle repeats. The self-sabotage trap. Some women engage in emotional affairs because they feel undeserving of stable love. A subconscious belief: if my husband really knew me, he'd leave. The affair becomes a way to control the inevitable rejection. This is why some women confess or get caught. They want to be stopped. Breaking the cycle. Healing before it's too late. Acknowledge the wound. Therapy, journaling, or somatic work to trace the pain's origin. Key question: what am I really seeking from this affair? And when did I first feel this lack? Communicate without shame. Instead of, you don't make me happy, try, I've been struggling with old hurts, and I need help. Rebuild security in marriage. Create anchors. Rituals, daily check-ins. Gratitude sharing that prove safety exists within the relationship. The hard truth: no affair partner can fill an inner void. Until she faces her past, she'll keep searching for peace in all the wrong places. 5. Deepening friendships when platonic bonds become emotional affairs. It started as just friends, but when she started deleting their texts, she knew this wasn't innocent anymore. Imagine this: a married woman meets a guy at work, the gym, or even through mutual friends. He's funny, easy to talk to, and gets her in a way her husband doesn't. At first, it's harmless, just coffee chats or memes exchanged. But slowly, her heart starts skipping beats when his name pops up on her phone. When does a friendship cross the line? And why do so many emotional affairs start as just friends? The slippery slope of emotional intimacy. Most emotional affairs don't begin with attraction. They begin with emotional vulnerability. She vents about her marriage, and he listens without judgment. He shares his struggles, and she feels needed in a way she hasn't in years. Inside jokes, late night calls, and "you're the only one who understands me" slip in. Suddenly, this friendship fulfills emotional needs that her marriage should. The key difference between a friend and an emotional affair: not all opposite-sex friendships are dangerous. The red flags: secrecy, deleting texts, hiding meetups, or lying by omission. Comparison. Why can't my husband be more like him? Emotional prioritization, sharing big news with him first. A real friend respects boundaries. An emotional affair partner thrives on crossing them. Why doesn't she just stop? Because it feels good to be understood. And stopping would mean returning to emotional loneliness. Many women rationalize. It's not physical, so it's not cheating. My husband doesn't care anyway. But the heart doesn't distinguish between physical and emotional betrayal. How to protect a marriage from just friends turning toxic. Set clear boundaries early. Example: I don't message male friends after 9 p.m. or discuss my marriage. Bring the energy back to the marriage. If she's laughing with him more than her husband, that's the problem. Husbands, don't wait until it's too late. If you notice her growing close to someone, reconnect. Don't accuse. The reality check. Emotional affairs thrive in the gaps of a marriage. The best defense? A relationship where both partners feel heard, valued, and connected before someone else steps in. 6. Fear of confrontation or divorce, the safe escape hatch. She wasn't ready to leave her marriage, but she couldn't stay fully in it either. So she found a loophole, an emotional affair. Many women avoid physical affairs not out of loyalty, but fear of divorce, judgment, or upheaval. An emotional affair offers a compromise. Secret fulfillment without the mess of a breakup. Why emotional affairs feel safer. No physical evidence. Easier to hide, deny, or rationalize. Guilt-free fantasy. I'm not really cheating if we're just talking. Testing the waters. A way to explore connection without fully committing to leaving. The silent marriage killer. Unlike explosive fights, emotional affairs create slow detachment. She stays married, but her heart checks out. The solution? Courage over comfort. Wives, ask yourself, am I staying out of love or fear? Husbands, notice emotional distance early. Silence is louder than anger. Final truth. Emotional affairs don't fix marriages. They delay the inevitable choice. Reconnect or let go. Emotional affairs feel like a lifeline, but they're really just slow poison for your marriage. Why women think it's a safe short-term fix. Instant validation, quick ego boost without physical betrayal. No immediate consequences, easier to hide than a physical affair. Emotional distraction numbs loneliness without addressing the real issues. The reality, it always backfires. Guilt erodes happiness. The initial high fades, leaving shame. Trust is broken forever. Even if undiscovered, the emotional disconnect grows. Delays real solutions. Affairs band-aid problems instead of fixing them. Bottom line, if your marriage is struggling, communicate or walk away, but don't torture it with half loyalty. Your turn. Would you stay in a loveless marriage or risk starting over? Comment below.